A tragedy must strain upward. It must attempt the impossible. A hero must dare to storm heaven itself or bend the wealth of empires to his will. And yet heaven remains untroubled by the attempt. It is the man who shatters. Why glorify the gate-kit when the breaking of the bone tells the truer story? Because the reach defines him. Consider Tamburlaine. He is no ordinary man stumbling through petty grief. He is vast, elemental, a force that bends kingdoms. He does not hesitate, does not shrink. Tragedy lies in that collision, infinite ambition trapped within mortal flesh. And I say the flesh is the tragedy. You carve your heroes into monuments. I prefer to uncover the cracks beneath the stone. A king who cannot sleep, a husband devoured by jealousy, a son paralyzed by doubt. These are not lesser figures. They are closer to us. When they fall, the audience does not merely witness, it recognizes itself. Recognition is a small thing. I aim for awe. And I aim for truth. Awe fades, truth lingers. Structure, that is your failing. You fracture your tragedies with fools and clowns, with digressions and jests. You dilute the force. A tragedy should be relentless, a single unbroken ascent toward destruction. Language should blaze. The line should march forward like an army, unyielding, inevitable. Life does not march so cleanly. Even at the edge of death, men laugh. Even in grief, absurdity intrudes. Comedy does not weaken tragedy, it sharpens it. Without light, darkness becomes meaningless. A man who laughs one moment and breaks the next, that is where the wound opens deepest. Faustus sells his soul for power, 24 years to command knowledge and dominion. That is a bargain worthy of tragedy. And in the end, he is torn apart by devils, body and soul damned. That is consequence. That is spectacle. Spectacle is easy. Terror is harder. Why summon devils onto the stage when they already dwell within the mind? A man's conscience can torment him more cruelly than any demon you could costume. You would replace fire and brimstone with thought? I would replace illusion with inevitability. You place too much faith in the subtlety of men. The crowd does not come for inward struggles. They come to see crowns topple, empires collapse, blood spilled upon the stage. They come for that, yes, but they stay for something more. They want to see the crown fall and realize the head beneath it is no different from their own. Tragedy is not merely the fall of greatness. It is the revelation that greatness itself is fragile, fleeting, perhaps even illusory. And the end? Tell me, Will, what should remain when all is done? What is your precious catharsis? Not a blaze, not defiance, a silence, a weight that settles over the audience, a sense that something essential has been diminished. The world, for a moment, feels thinner. A silence? No. I would end with fire, with a line so fierce it scorches the air. Let the audience leave shaken, overwhelmed, consumed. And I would have them leave haunted. Keep your haunted silences, Will. I'll find stories that demand thunder, more blood, less brooding. Take care, Kit. The world does not always match the grandeur of your verse. It is smaller and far more treacherous. Your counsel is noted, Will, but I must follow my muse wherever it leads. If you enjoyed the clash, don't forget to comment, subscribe, and share.